this right here, right now, is the joy of being a live stream, coming to you live from Brooklyn, New York. Folks, as is tradition here, hit me. Where are you at? What are you grateful for? I'm grateful for Seal the dog. I might as well pop on the doggy cam since we have a little doggy action here. Let's see. There we go. Look at that little snooper. Yeah, get that in there. Look at that little snoop. Hi, Snoopy. Folks, where are you coming from? What's up? What's going on? I'm feeling very colorful today. I don't know if this is too far. Usually I just wear all black, and today I was like, I'll wear a color. I saw someone selling these suckers on the street, and Chris Ingram. Is that right, Ingram? Chris Ingram. Welcome, Chris. Great to see you here. If this is your first time here, let us know. Yeah, I saw someone selling tie-dyes in the street, and I was like, well, hey, what the hell? I might dye it black, so it's like a mix of the two, but we'll see. Folks, lovely to see folks beginning to trickle in here. Chris, glad you're joining us here. We're going to be doing some meditating in just a few moments as we begin to start our way on down the path. Denny, welcome. Hello from Harlem. Grateful for fountain pens. Ooh, fountain pens. I haven't drawn, haven't written with a fountain pen in a while. You know, pro tip, people like cursive is like, pain in the ass. It's not the easiest way to write necessarily unless you did a ton of it. But I always find it a little bit, it never quite made sense to me. I was like, this is a funny way to write. I guess it's a little faster, right? If you get a fountain pen or a nib pen that has a flat head, script is so easy. It's all based on a flat head pen, not a round head pen, because you have to, in order just to make the word clear. Sela's growling like this because I stopped petting her. Look, she's like pet me right now. In order to just make the thing clear, anyway, it's just incredibly easy. So I thought that was very funny. Julia, welcome from Vienna. Lovely to have you here from the home of psychotherapy. Thank you for having us. Grateful I am. I had my heating fixed. Well, that is definitely a good thing to have fixed. Let's see here. I'm trying to get so I'm like squared away in the camera. I can actually just move the damn camera so I can sit where I want. Okay, but that's the wrong framing. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So the point is, doggy wants pets. Okay. The point is that we got more folks trickling in here. Welcome here, Nick, coming from Germany. Gothenburg, Sweden, not Germany. Thank you for not being colorblind. I'm technically not. Jean says, kapow, kapow. Oh, wait, is it someone's first time? Is it Chris's first time? I didn't realize that. So, Chris, I think it is your first time. So if that's the case, then you know what we're going to do. We're going to hit you with some welcome. Wait, where's the... This happened before our emote wall wouldn't work. It just stopped working. And it's like a pain, not the biggest pain in the ass to fix, but it's a little bit of a pain in the ass to fix. So, let's see. It's not the easiest thing to fix. Okay, doggo. Okay, stream. Okay, doggo. She's so funny. And you have to actually, this is so cute. She paws your hands like, pet me, but you have to not do it because otherwise the whole stream should just be like clawing through your hand. First time live. Oh, welcome. Great. So great to see you here. Welcome. Our emoji wall is not working, so we have no floating emojis. See, that's Sela very upset. So you have to like ignore her sometimes. Good morning from Brooklyn. Grateful for good books. Excellent. Good books are good times. I want to punch this down a tiny bit. Okay, great. So, is first time live. Oh, well, that's great. I'm glad you've been here, and thanks for watching on YouTube. Nate, greetings from Charlestown, West Virginia. I heard something recently about West Virginia, which is the following, which is that it's not constitutionally legal, that it was not something about the Constitution. This is an argument people were saying related to originalism, an argument around originalism. And if you take a perfectly originalist view, then West Virginia would not be legally a state. I didn't exactly know why, but I thought that's interesting. You're above the law. breaking the law. So yeah, excellent, folks. Excited that we're going to get to meditate today. So my thought was this. I usually I find myself more interested in certain meditations. So I had one idea which was not as interesting. It's a little bit, maybe from my perspective, a little bit simpler, which is just balancing the mind. But maybe we'll balance the mind for the first part, do mind balancing. And then for the second part, maybe we'll kick it to something else, or maybe we'll find something really interesting in balancing the mind. If you have any requests, now is the time to take them, or to engage. Let me know what your requests would be for meditation. Folks, this is my second matcha in as many tens of minutes. I had one and I was like, I'm just going to get up before the stream starts and make another one. We're almost out of milk, so I had to make a super strong one way at the bottom of the cup. Anything else? Any other big announcements? Oh, I don't know if I can announce that. Anyway, another big project. I have big projects coming left and right. I can't announce one of them. It's exciting. I hope that's fun for you to hear me pseudo-announce a project that I can't tell you about. Shit, I can't say any details at all. Okay, well, anyway, there's a cool project coming, which I'll be able to talk about at some point, if folks are interested, and we'll go from there. So, folks, find a nice, comfortable position that you can maintain for the duration of the practice. That means locating yourself so your knees are lower than your hips. Your spine is balanced. Ideally, you're using as little muscle power as possible. So you can find out if you're actually balanced if you just, you can actually rock back and forth from the tailbone and find out if you tend to tip forward or tip back, left, right, then rock the head on the top of the spine, and you find this balance point somewhere in the middle. Okay, Sela's got a nice noisy toy, which is probably why she's sitting so still. So we'll wait to take that away until we really start the meditation. And let me tuck. Oh, I can't tuck in. There we go. What do you guys think about that sound for the whole meditation? I'll point the mic that way so you can. I think so. Oh, here's an announcement. This might be the very last time, maybe, that we do the stream in this set, in this location. Basically, we're trying to move everything over yonder. The one issue with that is that it's by the hallway in the building, and sometimes the management will ride this cart down the hallway, which is like a metal cart with big wheels. So I don't know. It's one of those things. So we'll find out. Might move, might not, but we're going to see if that's the case. Excuse me. So let's rock and roll, folks. Find a nice, comfortable position that you can maintain for the duration of the sit. Arrange the body well, and encourage folks to practice in complete stillness. Don't move the body, or you're going to be in a lot of trouble. We're going to put you in meditation detention, which is literally no fun. No, I'm just kidding. I feel like meditation detention is a real thing. It's an actual thing that they do in schools now, which is good, and it lowers recidivism massively because people know how to calm their systems. Back in the day, you always started 12 minutes with balancing the mind. 12 minutes isn't a meditation, just 10 minutes. Wait, 12 minutes? Yeah, exactly. Isn't a meditation just 10 minutes long? I'm confused. It's so funny as we're building this new platform, meditation platform, we really have to do that and literally say, like, meditation. Sometimes meditations are longer than 10 minutes. And it's like, fighting with people because they just get so used to their, their standard Starbucks sizes or whatever. And then it's like you have to fight in the other direction. So the point is, find that nice, comfortable position. And, in more than 10 minutes, you just explode. So we're going to meditate for 25 minutes today. And trust me, it's going to be really easy and really fun. I will clear my throat precisely two times during the meditation, probably. Hopefully not blowing out any eardrums. And then we'll begin. Anything else before we begin? No, let's get going. Yeah, I think I'm going to do something similar where we do the first 12 minutes is balancing, and then we'll go from there. Maybe we'll do more balancing, get really balanced, or maybe not. So Sela just lost her toy, which is a good segue to take it away. No toy for you. If you want to stay here, you can, but if you do, you got to chill way out. Okay? Maybe even go down. Whoa, look at you going down. Yeah. Lay down, you little goof. Okay. So, folks, when you're ready, we will begin. Beginning by taking a few comfortable deep breaths and just feeling the body rise and fall. Each time we begin a meditation, we begin with the momentum of all of the previous moments. In fact, our experience as humans is built out of this momentum. The bodies that we've cultivated, the mind that we have developed through practice. All of the environmental impacts our lives have brought us to. And we can't tell what all of these different sources are. There's no way to go back and know what caused this moment, but we do know the result of all of these causes, and it is this experience. And we only have one opportunity to come in contact with this set of sensations. It's right now. So we're going to begin by picking some sensation that we can stay with. But we want to enter into that with the momentum of a relaxed body. So first, let's physically relax the body. So relaxing the head, including the muscles behind the eyes, back of the tongue. Relaxing the neck and the shoulders. The arms, and relaxing the hands, letting them rest. And noticing the sensations in the palms of the hands and tips of the fingers. Relaxing the torso, letting the body breathe as it will. Relaxing the hips, relaxing the legs, and relaxing the feet. And then relaxing more than we can physically feel, relaxing all the way down to the level of the bone. And then picking some sensation which we can consistently, easily come in contact with. So we may choose the breath, or we might choose something like the hand. I'm going to guide as though we're all choosing the hand, but if you choose a different sensation, simply follow along with the same principles. Picking one of our hands. Noticing the sensations. The hands have millions of nerve endings sending signals back to the brain. So noticing the palms of the hand, tips of the fingers. And for just an instant, letting this be the center of our universe. Each time we detect the sensations of the hand or whichever object we're using, in the mind we're going to refer to that exact sensation as this. This precise sensation in this precise moment. Remembering that each time we use that word, its definition changes, so using it with respect. We don't mean that or some other thing. We mean precisely this. We're seeing how consistently can we stay with this. How continuous can our mind be connected with precisely this. If we chose to use the hand, we can also choose to allow the hand to have a tiny bit of micro movement, if this helps the mind stay with these sensations. And of course, anytime we're distracted, The mind naturally drifts away from this. And if that's the case, we'll simply label whatever experience pulls us away as not this. Remembering that each time we use the word this, its definition is very specific. So don't use the term not this generically. We're distracted, pulled away by something. It is not something, it's not this. So by the end of that phrase, we returned to this. And the mind gets bored at times. Doesn't care so much about this. Shows us all these other things. So it's our process, our job to become fascinated with this. Precisely what is this? If we'd like, we could even use this as an inquiry question, asking exactly what is this? Turning our label into a kind of question. One thing that can be helpful is recognizing that all of not this, every distraction, every sound, is one large category. surrounding, encompassing all the experience of this. In other words, allowing awareness to be as large as it needs to. And still hold the experience of this, as though this were cradled within the larger experience of not this. And of course, at times, the mind will tell us other things are more important. We usually call this distraction. But we're settling into a world with this at the center. And not this surrounding, cradling. Because awareness, the mind's ability to take in a large set of data, doesn't care about location. Know that we can observe this as though it were distributed, as though it were simply a quality in all of our experience. This might sound strange, but it's as though we could spread out all of this throughout, or at least in a larger area within not this. So let's for a moment turn to what we've been calling not this, effectively awareness, our overall experience. Without worrying about location or detail of this, simply knowing the experience among other experiences. Treating the sensations of this like a kind of mist. If this is not available or is overly challenging, just going back to the practice we were doing a moment ago with this at the center. If we've chosen to distribute the sensations, chosen to allow them to be atmospheric, detail will go down, less of a sense of solidity, but the qualities, the sensations themselves can still be detected, just in a more diffuse way. Less located, but still clear. And now letting go of any connection with this. Simply connecting with what we've been calling not this, in other words, awareness. And noticing this quality of lightness that awareness has, the mind that knows our experience, the spacious mist. Notice how deeply delicate its knowing is. No matter what is known by the mind, it's as though the mind comes in contact with it in the most gentle way. And noticing how little we have to do in order to experience. In fact, we don't have to do anything. What if there was no me here? Wouldn't experiencing still continue? Wouldn't the system continue to take in experience? We often think that we are required, the self is required, in order to detect, to experience the world, but notice that it just comes in without trying. So allowing a tiny bit of light to enter the eyes, eventually allowing the eyes to rest on a single point as they fully open. Noticing how little needs to be done in order to experience the world. Letting this lack of a need be the great teacher that shows us how we might bring this practice into every aspect of our life. Okay. So now the most important part of the meditation. This is where we look at the dog again. No, it's where we say what just happened. If you want to solidify your experience, if you want to, or let's say, reinforce your experience, one of the best ways to do that is to actually say it out loud. So what I'm going to recommend is, folks, try it out. Try typing that thing down, or if you want, you can jump into our Discord and say it. Always an option, always helpful. And P.S., this is not, this is no pressure, but I think as the stream itself expands, which I think it will. I think it's slowly expanding over time, especially with some of the opportunities that are popping up right now. It will be, what I'm going to do as far as service is call on folks who are, regulars here, and encourage them to jump onto the Discord so that other people can feel a little less nervosio about doing so. Because I think that if it's just, radio silence, people will get nervous. So not today necessarily, but I'm going to encourage in the future just people to jump on and say hello and give their report or ask a question, that kind of thing. That's what I will encourage. And if you can think of ways to encourage people to do that, let me know. I'm interested in your ideas. Maybe Sela should be on the Discord. That's how we'll get people interested. We're actually doing a big revamp of our Discord. We're going to reshape it in a way that I think is going to be really interesting. So folks, what was that experience like? What happened and what do you like now? Try not to throw the meditation out just to be able to type what happened, because in the present moment you can trace what happened live. It is still happening to some degree. There's still a momentum of that. So you can actually write about your current experience, which is quite powerful. Okay, so what was that like? What happened and what do you like now? Who is at the door? Someone fully rang my doorbell. Don't they know? I think I'm going to put a sign on my door because it's not that often that happens, but I got to let people know. It could be the people dropping off their dog, because sometimes we have these neighbors who let our dogs play with each other, and that's really sweet, and they let each other hang out and play with. Yeah, it's the other dog. Excellent, excellent. Okay, we got some reports here. Oh my God, they're rolling in left and right. Excellent, folks. Glad to see some reports popping off. I need to. Oh, come on. Oh, I gotta make our tech person is not here today. We had a little glitch just arise. I need to make a note to this person. 1 second. Okay, great. And now, popping in here, let's hear some reports from folks. That's not what I was looking for. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, let's jump into reports. Folks, Denny, first report. We should have competitions, whoever has the first report. I don't know. I don't want to make people rush. Okay, Denny says,
today's sit was very challenging. I came into the sit with a lot of frustration and a bit of self-loathing, couldn't figure out a statistics problem. I was able to break down the experience into abrasive thoughts that are felt but not heard, and a tightness in the chest.
Great. Well, it's great clarity, and it's also, beginning meditation, we tend to think, problems or things that are in the way of the meditation. But as we develop over time, I think the key is to recognize, and I think you know this, that the challenge is the door. The challenge is not a wall. So how do we change the thing that's a wall into being a door? And that's exactly what you did, was to notice what it was, to process that, not to treat it like it's an alien thing that you have to fight or get away from. So that's excellent. Let's see here. Chris Ingram. Wait, Chris? Yeah, it is Ingram. I'm like, this is spelled different than Daniel's name, so I'm a little confused. Okay. Chris says,
awareness feels very diffuse and spacious. Is the goal to maintain this state in everything we do? Also, is this state directly correlated to deactivating the default mode network of the brain?
I have a question about default mode, because I know I'm familiar with default mode network, and I'm familiar with, I think that in a way, default mode network is defined as, I'm going to say something here that I don't want to say I'm completely sure of, because I know enough about it to be able to talk about it, but not necessarily enough to be like really in depth. But default mode network is, basically the default of the mind. But what happens when somebody becomes more and more awakened over time, right? What the default mode is. I think the default mode might be a general category that does not count the sort of training and transformation that can happen, because I think I'm curious if the default mode actually changes as the default of the mind changes over time. Because what happens is the mind defaults at a much more open and spacious experience, or much less constructed experience. But to your first question, is the goal to feel this spaciousness at all times? I would have to say, okay, I would like to give a simple answer and say yes, it is. It's the goal to be conscious of awareness throughout any experience. That would be a little bit reductive. I think the goal is to ride. This is as close as I can get. I'm wearing the hippy dippy shirt today, so I feel like I'm being a little extra hippy dippy, but I would say to ride the contour of the mind shaping, moving and shaping and experiencing reality. What does that mean? Well, sometimes the mind is spacious, sometimes the mind is tight and organized, and most of our troubles, as far as I can tell, are not being able to observe this movement of things. Especially when the mind is organized and tight, it tends to feel like that is reality, and that's the only reality. It's like this teeny tiny thing. Danny talked about being stuck on a problem. The mind is tight around this problem, and we can't escape from it. And so it feels like it's the most important thing, and it just doesn't care if we want to meditate, doesn't care if we want to have a relationship. It's just stuck on these things. Trauma is a good example of that. So the premise is, from my perspective, to see the nature of that large awareness, which is primordially perfect, and to see that perfection in all experiences, whether they're organized and tight and the whole mind is collapsed down and into duality basically, or the mind can sort of stay in that more diffuse experience. Both are good, and both are wholesome, and both are, what was I going to say? natural. We want to see both as natural and see that there's no real separation between the two, that actually they both have this primordial perfection. So that's what I would say the goal is, although that is a late stage Buddhism perspective. Early stage Buddhism would say the goal is to remove, things that are, remove fetters, remove qualities that are considered negative. We remove those, and then we are left with a kind of purity. Sila, what are you pouting about here? What are you complaining about? You have a nice camera right here. Look, say hi. Okay, so she just wants constant petting is what she wants. So that's what I would say. That's what I would say the goal is from my perspective. Julia now says,
started out quite peaceful, even though my arm kept jerking involuntarily. Sometimes I caught a flash of intention, but mostly it happened without warning. Became quite dull, so I opened my eyes and had increasingly used quite a bit of effort. Still quite pleasant sit.
So Julia, here's a question for you. Were you using the hand as the object of meditation today? That's what I want to know, because that'll help me give context for your report. Your doorbell sounds exactly like my neighbor's. Yeah, well, it's a generic, it's like a wireless doorbell thing that I'm sure is a very common appliance. Denny says, excuse me. Denny says,
eventually kind awareness was able to meet that part and thank it for its curiosity and energy. That lightened some of the sensations, but I still feel the tightness and clinging.
Great. So know the clinging, know the aversion to the clinging, because typically some part of us is like, no, clinging bad. And notice those particles within the hole. Particles whole. That's like the biggest key. Okay, Nick now says, oops. Oh, this might be the dog coming. Yep. Shh, quiet, Sila. Quiet, quiet. Okay, 1 sec, guys. I gotta get the other dog, which means you get to meet a second dog, which is lovely. Shh, quiet, Sila. No barking. 1 sec, guys. Be right back with you. Quiet. Quiet. See up? Quiet. Come on, quiet. Hold on, guys. Hold on. We got a live stream going here. Hold on. Hold on. Yeah. Come with me. Okay. Here's the other dog. Oof. Okay, I can't put on the headphones because it'll tear the whole thing apart. But this is our neighbor's dog, Pio. Look at this cutie. What a cutie. And this is Sila, who loves Pio. They're best friends. Isn't it so cute? So cute. Hopefully this is fun for you guys. I love holding these guys. Whoa, Sila. That's new. That's new behavior. Sila. Come on. No. Good girl. Come on. She never does that. She's never like snapped at another dog like that. It must be something I'm doing. Sorry about that, folks. Okay. Excellent. Now we're back. Okay, folks. Thank you for that. Nick now says as follows. Okay. Extra challenging today, Sala. Okay, let's jump in here. You guys okay?
Extra challenging to stay with this today. Momentum from work and also sitting in the other office where people can see right through the window. Causing a lot of mental imagery of what I look like from any bypasses POV. So good old self-consciousness, I guess. Weird thing, trying to somehow manipulate, predict the experience of others by constantly projecting in the mind what I think other people see and adjusting. Maybe you can say something about that phenomenon.
Yeah, great. So I can share about self-consciousness. That is actually easy to share about. Okay, this, get rid of the doggy cam. Yeah, that is actually a really interesting phenomena. And let's see here. Yeah, doggy town. I wish I had like a separate doggy cam that could like point out this way. They're really cute. Okay, so the point is self-consciousness. Self-consciousness is this very funny thing. If I've ever talked about this, the experience that I had on retreat once of like what I talk about, like seeing raw sense data without a filter, what seemed like to me, hello, little beauty. Do you want to be on doggy cam? Is that what you're describing? The neighbor dog is very sweet. Okay, let's turn the doggy cam back on so we can have a little neighbor dog. Yeah. So the point is that, what is the point? Oh, okay. So self-consciousness is this very strange phenomena where we are imagining, right now. So if I'll think, oh, I'm so self-conscious, everyone's looking at me, I'm, on TV or something. Imagining what you are imagining of me. So I have to imagine what's in your mind and then reverse that, project it back towards myself. It's inherently alienating because it's not only reinforcing a self, it's imagining that this other self, which I have to reinforce, is now looking at me and judging, and everything is hinged off that view. So it's inherently like sort of weirdly out of balance and like weirdly, it's painful. It's incredibly painful. So for me, observing that exact shape, like what is the actual amount of energy and tension that is required in order to do that, helps that break down. So that is my sort of quick and dirty explanation. We have some dog in the foreground, some in the background. I see that. That's my quick and dirty way to break that down, but it is a very real, human experience in that way. Okay. Next meme here. Oh, we have an extra M. I see. Here we go. Chris rather says.
Same spelling and Daniel Ingram. Just that Chris Ingram was already taken as a username. Shinzen's research is currently using ultrasound to deactivate the PCC, a component of the default mode network as I understand it.
Yeah, I'll have to talk to some more of my science nerdy friends because what they're doing is reducing what is it, post-singular, is it not Cortex, post-cingulate something. I'm not a researcher. They're deactivating that using low-frequency ultrasound, and it brings on this level of equanimity that's just like unheard of. So that's very powerful. So it's very interesting to explore. Who's whining here? Wait, who's whining? I can never tell. Because Seal is not allowed to whine. But I think it's our visiting dog. You can whine all you want.
Mostly focused sit with few distractions. I felt quite aware of tension in my neck and upper scapula and still do. I also felt some hunger and thought about what I might eat soon. Otherwise stayed with it and feel in touch with awareness.
Great. Okay, great. Excellent. Great clarity. Excellent. Mostly focused, few distractions. That's lovely. And, those are days that are nice like that. And sometimes not so much. Okay. Oh, yeah, they're excited, these guys. Okay. Nick then says,
remember you mentioned it before and it really feels like a lot of unnecessary agitation. The control freak self is getting really busy now trying to control everything and everyone.
Interesting. Well, again, if you can open awareness and let that be there, I think that's another route to go. Is instead of breaking each little piece down, notice the resistance, notice whatever clinging and aversion is arising, and hold that within a larger space, because it can't really grip if it has nothing to cling on to. So we're opening the container in that way. Yep, incoming chaos. They're good though. As soon as they'll start to fight soon, which is actually really fun. Not fight, but like wrestle, which is really great because then they get their energy out, and that's really like primo dog time is when the dogs actually get to play and then their energy's worked out. Julia says,
no, I was using the breath. However, my arms have been jerking for days. Mm-hmm. Pretty sure this is related to my parts conflict, hold emotion, because of the thoughts that arise with the jerking, which by the way seems to be getting much better.
Yeah. So just so you know, though, Kriya's involuntary body movements, sometimes the body rocking or even making vocalizing in certain ways is normal and part of meditation, whether it's related to trauma or not. You may be served by, before you meditate or at the beginning of the meditation, to allow the body to shake in any way that it needs to, shake out whatever is going on, some somatic experiencing skills there. So that might be of help. The dogs are sitting on the couch, just sitting, and one of them is just whining. It's like, explain to me your world, doggy. Okay. Exactly. Meow cat, left and right here. Posterior cingulate cortex, right. Now you got it. See, there you go. Thank you for that, Chris. I think we're gonna try to do an interview with Shinzen again soon. We had a really interesting interview. They got cut in half, and so we're gonna try to finish that coming soon. Nick says,
Posterior cingulate cortex or something, kinda like what psychedelics does but with ultrasound, I guess. Not that into the science, trying to stop getting too mindy, which is always the case.
Yeah, well, the effect is not as psychedelic. In fact, the effect is sort of weirdly the opposite. The effect ends up being like just like nothing matters sort of thing, or there's no push or pull on any of our experience. And so it's this very deep experience of equanimity. I'm very interested in doing it. I'm hoping they'll let me jump on the machine and do a bunch of sessions, but we'll see how that works. Okay. Julia says, okay, get your final stuff in here because I will have to jump off a little earlier today. So final questions, interest, curiosities as people are popping on and off the stream, let me know. We're stuck at 405 followers. So if you're not following, hit the follow button because I don't know why we're competing for 405, but that's our new number. Okay, let's see here. Julia says,
oh yeah, I was going to ask if you, or any of the viewers, recommend any particular bodywork practice.
Any particular body work practice? If you haven't read the book, what is it called? Trauma-Informed Mindfulness. That is an excellent resource. Also the book, The Body Keeps the Score. Both excellent. But body work practices, the number one thing I recommend typically, especially if there's a potential background for trauma, is yin yoga. Yin yoga is very meditative, but largely you just stay in one position. It can tend to be relatively intense. You manage your own intensity, but you just stay in one position. So there's no like escape. You can't like do a thing and like, oh, I'm just going to shake it out. You sort of just stay with it and stay with it. And a lot of it is letting go, and that very deep letting go. Hello, dear buddy. I call all dogs female because my dog is female. That's how that works. Celia, you're blocking the view. You want your attention, hog. What was I talking about? I was talking about body work. With yin yoga, you effectively stay with whatever sensations are present, and you just hang out there and let go and let go. And a lot of that letting go is very deep emotional letting go as well. Julia now says,
it's quite interesting actually, with me sometimes noticing a flash of intention of I really focus, and I can meditate on the subway without jerking.
Interesting. So what I'd also recommend is notice that the prep. Sometimes I think of it as intention, but sometimes I think of it as preparation energy, because intention does seem a little bit like something we're intending, like we're like, I mean, obviously, but like that we're trying to do it, whereas the trying itself comes up from nowhere also. So it's not like it comes up. What are you chewing? Hey, no, leave it. No, don't do that. Dog's chewing the bags, the poop bags. This is like a real circus over here, guys. You gotta leave that, doggy. Thank you. Now Silas wants the poop bags. Okay. How do I keep... Hey, hey! No. Don't make me get up off this cushion and take the thing away from you, which is probably the thing I have to do because they're just pulling all the bags out. 1 second. Really appreciate it, folks. What are you doing with your leash, you crazy? What a crazy dog. Thanks, folks. got this for us as a thing I found on the floor that I don't want the dogs to eat, which I just made a branch that started connecting points in the branch to other points in the branch, which I think is a fun game to do. Make a weird entity. Okay, what's the point though? The point is, I was answering a question which I forgot. I think I was answering a question about body practices. The jerking. Oh yeah. So the question around intentionality. So, just basically the way I see it is preparation energy. The body suddenly prepares, and sometimes we think we are doing that, and I think we're doing much less of it than we think we are. So just take a look and see how much of that intentionality is really controlled by you. But don't get too caught in a thought loop, because often we can think, if we get too caught up in it, we think we're controlling everything, which we're very much not. We're very much not in control. Nick now says,
sometimes it feels like the distinction between voluntary and involuntary is getting kinda hazy and conceptual in experience, like the border of Norway.
Exactly. So you've seen me do this exercise before, but you take your hand, you don't have to be, it doesn't have to be up in the air, but you just take your hand so you can see it. And what you're going to try to do is, as fast as you can, make your thumb meet your fingertips. Okay. Now the thumb is a dumb digit. It doesn't do a lot. It does this really well, but it doesn't do all the other things that digits do terribly well. So don't try to move the fingers, but don't not move the fingers. And as fast as you can, try to get your thumb to tap, 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 touch, touch, touch each one of the fingers. And you're just trying, you're efforting to move the thumb, not the other fingers. So right now, I'm only trying to move my thumb, which you can see is not working very well. And so what that means is that we start to see, oh, wait a minute, it's as though the fingers were jumping to meet the thumb. It's as though what we're intending is actually a very small part of the motor function of the body. And you can in that way see the difference between the two very clearly. And then you can expand that out to other activities where we can realize we're not really controlling that much. Okay, this may be the final comment here from Chris. Let's see.
Have any recommendations for working with a strong parts that arise seeking distraction every time I need to be productive?
That's great. Yeah, let's hear that again, because that's a really good question.
Have any recommendations for working with a strong parts that arise seeking distraction every time I need to be productive?
Yeah. So what you're experiencing there is two parts. One part that has a need and wants to be productive, and one part that is like, I want anything else. Now the likelihood is that the part that wants anything else either associates doing things, challenging things, etc., with pain of some kind, or let's see here, associates those things with pain or doing something challenging, so it feels challenged, or it feels burdened with having to do the task. So partially what you can do is notice that part and try to ask it if it's willing to step back. Say, hey, and some of the previous streams, I'm sure, since you've been watching online, have actually talked about this specifically, letting a part step back, giving the part a little more space, this kind of thing. And the part that really wants, and also finding the other part of us that can do it. Because there's a part of us that's really capable and really able to do this very easily. So what we're doing is looking for that part and letting that part take over, because it's not that the part that's like, I just want to be distracted, feels that someone else could do this, but I feel tired and I just don't want you to do it. Usually it feels it has to do it to some degree, and it's overburdened. So a lot of times parts that feel burdened feel two things. One, that it has to do X, it has to worry, or it has to judge ourselves, or has to do these things, but also that it cannot do that. It cannot do the thing it's being asked. It has to take care of all the problems in the world, but it can't, and so it's like super stuck. So we want to be very good at recognizing that part is active, it's trying to take over, and then observe it from some larger experience. Other practices that work for this, which are really good, are the ideal parent figure protocol. Hello, darling. Doggy's back. The ideal parent figure protocol is excellent for this, where you're imagining a caretaker that is perfect, that has all of the qualities that the caretaker needs, and that they will be there with you and care for you. And what that's doing is it's connecting you with, sort of source energy, or true self, true being, etc., the qualities of Buddha nature. because that being has Buddha nature. But we have all those parts within us. We have everything we need. This is a very important concept. We have everything we need within us to resolve these difficulties. It's just that parts are fractured. And so that part only knows the world as something is missing. So it's part of our job to teach it that relationship. Oh, doggy wants love. That's okay, doggy. Come to me. You're better at being picked up than the other doggy, than my doggy. She's good. Look at this little lovely lump. Doesn't she look like a Muppet or a puppet? Like she's just fully fake. Like I just like made her out of like sticks and wire. Hello. She looks like this like perfect fake dog. Couldn't you imagine this is just a human? Like, oh, hello. Thanks. We got to subscribe here from Exalted Bro. Thank you so much. Yeah, tell us the secrets. Oh, Nick. So Nick made a gift subscription, and Exalted Bro is now subscribed. Thank you so much, Nick. It's very kind of you. Very kind. Exalted appreciates it. Exalted will not have to watch commercials for a month. Hello, little darling, little buddy. Okay, so that's what I would say on that. I'm thinking about making a whole course based on this concept, this set of concepts, if that's possible with all my free time. That would be lovely, as always. Okay, so the control freak doesn't like this exercise exactly. Such a cute dog, right? Oh, good. Our floating emojis thing is working now. I don't know why that didn't work, and now it does. Hold on. It's okay. I'm gonna pick you up. Yeah. Oh, sweet, sweetie. Just so folks know, if you ever have a dog licking you, as long as the dog doesn't eat gross stuff, which most people don't let their dogs eat gross stuff, especially in the city. I guess some people do. Its licks are clean as hell, but if they eat gross stuff, they're not clean. Chris says, oh, Metagroup podcast. Excellent. Metagroup is such a great resource. If anyone doesn't know about Metagroup, click on that podcast and then go from there. I was actually looking for a link of that. Found this if it's helpful. Yeah, excellent. And George is like, as far as teachers talking about ideal parent protocol. So I mentioned this. I don't know if the replay is up already on Twitch, so you can watch it there. But I detail out the relationship of internal family systems therapy and IPF. That, whatever, I'm not going to go over it again. But there's the particle, the divided piece that feels like it's separate from everything else. There's, Buddha nature or self-energy that we're trying to teach the system to know, to fall in love with, to start to relate to as true being, as our true nature. And in between that is a transitional figure, some figure that then can help us, connect with this larger material. IPF only just talks about this figure and not really like what it's pointing to. So, but either way, that figure is further along than that part is, so that's all that matters. Now, we could be that intermediary figure for that part, but that's a different story. Now we're getting into like multiplying different, tactics. So hopefully that is helpful. But do everyone follow that link. Check out George. George is awesome. I'm actually going to open this up because I really appreciate George's material. And I trained with George, actually. He's one of the people who trained me to teach. So, lovely guy. Excellent. So, folks, oh, good. Everyone's doing floating emojis. Me too. Let's see if I wanted to do a bunch of this one because today is, I have this. This is my look today. Yes, floating. There we go. Perfect. Fits right in. Folks, lovely as always to see you here. We're going to be back here in fewer than 48 hours. Set your freaking clocks. If you haven't already, listen, I just want a pro tip. Make a calendar, a repeating calendar event, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 11 a.m. Eastern. Come hang out. Good times. Good times for everybody. So, folks, let's pop into this outro here. Outro. I feel like maybe we'll update the outro. As always, I wonder if I could do is what happens if no, whatever, I'm not going to do this now. Folks, in this current experience, check out any dogs chewing on weird things that they're not supposed to be. Whatever experience is arising, recognizing that experience as nature, as part of what it means to be a human. And there might be some part of us that doesn't like something or thinks things should go a different way than they are right now. And know that that too is just another human experience. Just an ordinary, lovely human experience. And if you can, for a moment, just letting yourself fall in love with whatever this particular moment is, whether you're petting a very adorable, fluffy dog, or if you're just hanging out, listening to the end of the stream, wherever you are. Folks, as always, great to be here with you. We'll be back here in fewer than 48 hours. Practice well, take care of each other, have fun, and we'll see you all very,